Most experts don't have a content problem, they have an audience problem. They make videos that are technically correct, accurate, well thought out, and nobody watches. And not because the information is bad, but because it's aimed at the wrong person. And here's what makes this so frustrating. You look around and you see people with half your knowledge getting way more views. People doing dances, trend hopping, pointing at the text on screen, and you're thinking, I'm not doing that. I am not becoming a dancing monkey for the algorithm. And honestly, good, because you don't have to. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact framework that lets you create expert content that actually gets watched by people you want to work with, without dumbing down your message or dancing for the algorithm. So stick around to the end because I'm going to show you the 7 steps to transform nobody's watching into when can we start. First, we need to understand something that most experts just kind of completely miss. Most experts talk about their industry because that's where they live all day. That's who they talk to. That's what they're learning. That's what they're thinking about. So when it's time to start making content, they default to what's familiar. They talk to their peers, even if they don't realize they're doing it. And I see this with my own clients all the time. I worked with a real estate agent who made this really detailed video about buying and selling strategies, and it was packed with amazing value, great information, but it just did all right. But then he made a 90-second video about dryer ducts, like the things that connect your dryer to the wall. And he talked about the safety implications of different types of them for homeowners. And that video crushed because it wasn't technical jargon that clients never care about unless they were deep in the buying process. It was a real problem that they had right now in their actual house, and they could understand that immediately. Let me show you what this looks like in other industries. A marketing consultant that makes a video titled How to Optimize Your Funnel Conversion Rate with Multivariate Testing. Technically, that's good information. If you're a marketer, you're probably nodding along. But their ideal client, who is an owner trying to get more customers, has no idea what that means. They're not thinking about funnels, they're thinking, why isn't my website getting me any leads? Same problem, completely different language. So what happens? The business owner scrolls right past because it doesn't sound like it's for them. And the marketing consultant looks at their analytics and thinks, why is nobody watching my stuff? Because you made a video for marketers just about the business owner's problem. Here's another example I see all the time. A leadership coach makes content about building psychological safety in high-performing teams. Again, great topic, important concept. But their ideal client is a VP who's dealing with turnover. They're not searching psychological training. They're thinking, why does everyone keep quitting? Or why can't my team just tell me what's wrong? They have the problem, they just don't have your language for it yet. And if your content requires them to already know the terminology, you've already lost them. This is the gap that kills most expert content. You're explaining solutions to problems that people don't know they have yet, or worse, you're explaining solutions in a language they don't even speak. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but if I dumb it down, I'll attract the wrong people. I'll get tire kickers who can't afford me. And I get it, that's a real concern, but here's the thing. Simplification doesn't mean dumbing it down. It means meeting people where they are before moving them to where you want them to go. Let me give you a real example of how this works. Bad version. Implement a stakeholder alignment framework to reduce friction in cross-functional initiatives. Good version. If you're trying to get a project done and 3 different departments keep blocking you, here's how to get everyone on the same page without losing your mind. Both are talking about the same thing, just one sounds like a consultant trying to impress other consultants, and the other sounds like someone who's been in the room when it's falling apart. Which one makes you think, okay, this person gets it? And here's what's honestly kind of wild about this, is the experts who sound the smartest often get the least trust. I know that sounds backward, but here's why that's true. When you stack jargon and technical terms, you create this distance. You sound impressive, but you also sound like a douchebag. Like you're speaking from an ivory tower to the people that are in the trenches. And subconsciously, people think this person is so deep in their own world, they probably won't understand mine. And that's the trust cost of sounding too smart. Meanwhile, the person who can take a complex idea and explain it like they're talking to a friend over coffee, that person feels accessible, relatable, like someone you could actually work with. That's why simplification increases credibility. Not because you're hiding your expertise, but because you're demonstrating that you can meet someone where they are. Early in my career, I would do this all the time. I'd start explaining all the technical details and parts of the process that they would never see because I love nerding out on this stuff. And I could see them start to glaze over. But now I'll actually catch myself in meetings and say, you know what, you don't care about this. This is the result we're going to get it. And I focus on the outcomes that they actually want. And that's when they lean in. That's when they understand the value. I see this pattern all the time with technical founders. They'll make videos explaining their product's architecture, the technology, and the innovation, and their investors are like, this is brilliant, but their customers, they have no idea what any of that means. Here's an example. A SaaS founder makes a video about their proprietary machine learning algorithm that optimizes data pipelines for enterprise scalability. Cool, I'm sure it's impressive. But their ideal customer, who is a COO who's drowning in manual processes, they don't care about your algorithm. They care about, can I stop having my team spend 10 hours a week on spreadsheets? That's the video that you should be making, not the technically impressive one, the emotionally resonant one. Now, let's talk about views for a second, because I think there's a lot of confusion about what success actually looks like. A lot of people see someone with millions of views and think, that's what I need. No, it's not. If you're a $10,000 service provider, you don't need 1 million views. You need 100 views from the right 100 people. I would rather have 50 views from qualified prospects who are thinking, I need to work with this person, than 50,000 views from people who watched because it was entertaining but had no intention of actually hiring anybody. Views are just a vanity metric if they're not connected to the outcome you actually want. And for most experts, the outcome isn't fame, it's clients. So here's the question that actually matters. How do you make videos that the right people watch? Not the algorithm, not your peers, the actual people you want to work with. Here's the framework. Step 1, start with the reality, not your solution. Most experts start like this. Today I'm going to teach you how to blank. That's expert thinking. Client first thinking starts here. Have you ever described the frustration? Let me show you the difference. Expert first. Today I'm teaching you my framework for stakeholder management. Client first. Ever tried to launch a project and got blocked by 3 different departments who all want something different? Let me show you what actually works. One's about you and one's about them. Guess which one gets watched? Step 2, use their words, not yours. This is huge. Most people completely miss it. You need to listen to how your clients actually describe their problems, not how you would describe them, how they do. So go through your sales calls, your intake forms, your DMs. What exact phrases do they use? Like a business coach might say, I help entrepreneurs scale systematically, but their client says, I'm the bottleneck in my own business. That second phrase, that's your hook. Because when someone hears their own words in your content, they stop scrolling and they think, wait, this is about me. It's taken some time, but I've learned to kind of work backwards from clients' goals instead of leading with what I do or how many deliverables they get. We figure out what they want, and then we make a plan to get it done. And I always try to put myself in their shoes, and I've heard from clients that I make it really easy to work with, probably because I focus so much on client experience and outcomes rather than talking about the gear or the technical processes like I used to. And that shift, that's what made the difference. Step 3. 1 video, 1 idea, 1 person. Most people are trying to cover everything. Here are 7 ways to improve your leadership. Okay, well, who are you talking to? Are you talking to the overwhelmed new manager who doesn't know how to delegate, the experienced director dealing with a difficult team member, or are you talking to the executive trying to build culture at scale? Those are 3 different videos, 3 different problems, and 3 different people. So stop trying to help everyone in 1 video. Pick 1 person, 1 problem that they're facing, and 1 thing that will help. That specificity is what makes people watch, because someone thinks, holy shit, this is my exact situation, and they're not going to click away. Step 4, prove you've been there. This is where stories come in. Not long, drawn-out stories, but specific details that prove that you understand the reality. Don't say leadership is hard. Say it's 7 p.m. on Wednesday, you're still at the office because someone on your team dropped the ball again, and you're thinking, it would have been faster if I just did it myself. That second one, that's a Tuesday for your ideal client. When you describe their reality with a level of detail, they trust you. Not because you told them you're an expert, because you've proved that you've been where they are. Step 5, make the payoff immediately clear. At the end of the video, someone should know exactly what to do next, not think about this or consider that, a specific, actionable step that they can take right now. So a bad ending would be, so think about how you can improve your communication skills this week. A good ending: next time someone on your team misses a deadline, don't ask them what happened. Ask them what they needed that they didn't have. That one question changes the entire conversation. One is vague and one is a script that they can use tomorrow. Which one do you think will get remembered? Step 6, stop worrying about your peers. This is something that holds so many experts and professionals back. They're afraid to sound too basic because they're worried that other experts will think that they're basic or not smart. Well, here's the truth. Your peers aren't your clients, and the ones who judge you for simplifying, they're not making content that works either. The best experts I know make content that their colleagues sometimes roll their eyes at. Like, oh, that's so obvious. But yeah, motherfucker, it's to you, but because you've been doing this for 15 years. To your ideal client who's 3 months into this problem, it's a revelation. Step 7, test, can my mom understand this? And I'm serious. If you can explain what you do to someone who has zero context about your industry and they get it, that's when you know you've nailed it. That doesn't mean your mom's your target audience. It means that you've removed all the insider language and assumptions. You've distilled it down to what actually matters. And ironically, that's when you sound the most credible, not when you're using the fanciest terms, when you make the complex simple. Let me give you one more example to bring this home. I talked to a consultant recently who was frustrated with their content. They're saying, I'm posting about organizational design and nobody's really engaging with it. And I asked them, well, what does your ideal client say when they call you? They said, well, usually it's something like, we keep hiring people and somehow there's more chaos, not less. And I said, there's your content right there. Make a video titled, Why Hiring More People is Making Your Business Worse, and talk about that exact feeling and that exact problem. Don't talk about organizational design, talk about the chaos. The solution can still be organizational design, but lead with their pain, not your process. That's the shift. Here's what I want you to remember. You don't need to dance. You don't need to follow trends. You don't need to be Mr. Beast. You need to sound like someone who's been exactly where your ideal client is right now. And you need to explain what you do in a way that makes them think, finally, someone who gets it. Not, wow, this person is so smart, but this person understands my situation. That's how you make videos that people actually watch, not by being the smartest person in the room, but by being the person who makes them feel less alone in the room. Because here's the thing about great content. It's not about you. It's not about your expertise. It's not about your credentials. It's about the moment someone watching thinks, this person sees what I'm dealing with, they've been here, and they know how to help. That's the video that gets watched, that's the video that gets shared, and that's the video that turns into clients. So if you've been making expert content that nobody watches and this finally clicked for you, comment with the one problem your client actually say out loud. Not your industry term for it, their words. Let's see if your content is actually aimed at them or your peers.